NIO, the Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer, is taking the world by storm. This is another Chinese automaker that has surpassed brands like BMW and General Motors and has risen to the fifth best in electric vehicles. What would you say if I asked you to name the top 5 biggest car companies in the world by market capitalization? Most people could probably guess some of the names on the list: Tesla, Toyota, Volkswagen, and some people may have heard of number 4, the Chinese brand BYD, famously backed by Warren Buffett. It is time to include NIO on your list. EV brand NIO had a market cap of $89.5 billion in 2021, which is an incredible feat for a company that's less than a decade old. The man behind the brand's success is co-founder, chairman, and CEO William Li. In 2014, Li planted the seed of NIO, and before you could say electric dreams, they launched their EP9 sports car in London just 2 years later. This sleek beast could travel 365 miles, or 427 kilometers, on a single charge. And if you were in a hurry, fear not. In just 45 minutes, you could juice up the EP9's battery. But the EP9 had a hidden party trick. If you don't feel like waiting for charging, you can remove the battery and pop in a fresh one. It's like having a pit crew in your trunk. The EP9 set a world record for the fastest lap by an EV at 3 tracks, but its top speed of 194 miles per hour, or 313 kilometers per hour, could only be experienced on a racetrack by a select few. None of the 16 production models were ever registered for road use. But you know you're onto something special when major tech players like Tencent, Baidu, and Lenovo start throwing money at you as initial investors. They saw the spark in NIO and knew it had the potential to light up the EV world. The ES8 SUV launched in 2018, along with NIO's first battery swap station in Shenzhen. By year-end, there were 18 stations along the G4 Expressway between Beijing and Hong Kong. To say that the idea of being able to swap a low battery out for a full one in less than 5 minutes was more appealing than a 45-minute pit stop to charge up would be a massive understatement. The buzz around this ambitious project helped NIO launch a $1.8 billion IPO on the New York Stock Exchange in 2018. Battery swapping was the prime example of the user-focused innovation on which NIO built its reputation. In China, NIO is perceived as matching or beating its German competitors in terms of customer focus. There are over 1,300 battery swap stations throughout China, and the brand's models continue to be consistently luxurious, reliable, and jam-packed with cool tech. An AI digital assistant named Nomi adjusts seating and steering preferences as drivers approach the car and can respond to verbal commands for everything from operating windows to taking in-car selfies. NIO Pilot is the company's semi-autonomous driving system with 23 sensors, and their vehicle interiors are so comfy and sleek they've been dubbed a second living room. The brand is constantly being compared to Tesla, which William Li doesn't mind, though he's said he's not a fan of Elon Musk's tweets and is a far better dancer than Tesla's CEO. Oh, and he thinks his brand will become profitable quicker than the 16 years it took Tesla to do the same. Tesla has been NIO's main competitor in homeland China, with both brands offering larger vehicles with premium features and price tags to match. But while Tesla has slashed prices in both China and the US this year, Li says NIO won't follow suit. For us, we will certainly not join the price war. Instead, NIO has decided to focus on improving customer services like adding more battery swapping and charging stations and community-minded NIO houses, where drivers can do everything from reserve meeting rooms and grab a coffee from a small cafe to connecting with other parents at kids' play spaces. There's even talk of a mobile phone designed specifically for NIO drivers. Owning a luxury vehicle has always been something of an exclusive club, but NIO is the first company to create a way for those club members to actually connect. But let's be honest for a moment. In a world where you can snag a brand new electric ride for less than 10 grand, NIO knows they have to step up their game. So they're not just amping up the fancy services, but also unleashing a whole new lineup of more affordable cars for our friends across the pond in Europe. The new EV products will appear under new brand names and will be more in line with competitors like Toyota and Volkswagen. That's where Li is planning to undercut Tesla in price while still offering drivers a premium customer experience. It won't be NIO's first time taking a crack at the European market. In 2021, the brand began to deliver cars to Norway, And then the following year, they had battery swap stations in place for Nordic drivers. Now, Neos can be found in Germany, Denmark, the Netherlands, Sweden, and Norway. Drivers in Europe are enjoying the same perks as Chinese Neo devotees. Neo Houses, an app that lets you control your car, book service appointments, and buy new vehicles, and a subscription service that allows drivers to pay one monthly fee for everything vehicle-related: insurance, service, optional app features, and on and on. The innovative plan could mean that Neo will be the first Chinese EV to become a significant player in the Western market. Still, shares in Neo have taken a beating lately. This isn't unusual since the entire global EV market is pretty much a volatile minefield right now, and most EV manufacturers are still bleeding money and have yet to see a profit. Neo stock is trading for half of what it was a year ago, nowhere near its highest price of nearly $60 a share at the beginning of 2021. Now it's fluctuating right around the $10 mark, and experts are divided on what the future looks like for Neo. It's probably a relatively safe long-term investment. Still, until the whole Chinese EVs finding their place in Western markets situation shakes out, we'll see much more fluctuation. Li still owns the lion's share of stake in his company through the holding company Original Wish. Chinese tech giant Tencent owns almost 10% of the company. Bailey Gifford & Company, BlackRock, and Vanguard round out the top 5 investors. Like the rest of life, nothing in the Chinese EV market is certain. But William Li isn't worried about the future of his company, saying that success is like running a marathon. You don't win in the first few kilometers, but in the last few. We are at the beginning and will only know in 10 years whether we will really be successful. Do you think Neo will fade into history as a niche Chinese company, or will we all visit local Neo houses and swap batteries at a network of thousands of Neo stations soon? Now click this video on your screen. You'll love it.